Yo, what's going on, everybody? Keenan Jerome Floyd here again. On this episode, we're going to talk about what the hell is going on with black police officers in the state of Tennessee. On this episode of Cultured. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Cultured. We're on episode 8. I've been doing this for about 6 months, and I'm only on 8 episodes. I don't know what's happening with my time.
Busy, man. You booked and busy. Got a lot of irons in the fire. That's all.
I'm booked.
Stun on these motherfuckers. Let them know you busy.
Dre said it. We're booked and busy out here.
Busy.
But thank you, everybody that's been supporting the podcast so far. We've gone up on the YouTube channel with followers. People have been subscribing, people have been liking, people have been sharing, and also people have been commenting. So let's keep that going. Let's keep growing. So if this is your first time watching the podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. You can also follow us on Instagram. Follow me, Keenan J. Floyd. And that's it. You know what to do. So let's get into it. Today, I got a guest that I'm growing to admire. Well, I already admire this guy. He does a lot of dope stuff up in the Bay Area. He's an amazing animator. He's an amazing creative. You see in his background what he's working with. This guy's no joke. I would like everyone to welcome my incredible guest, Andre Rodriguez. What's up, man?
Good. What's good with it? Y'all can call me Dre. You know, everybody else does. Been called Dre since I was a youngster. So knee high to a fly's eye. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Let's do this.
So what's been going on with you, man? Tell the people about you.
Let me think. I've been working my 9 to 5, you know what I'm saying? I'm over at Pixar right now, and it's that place is like an embarrassment of riches. It's like a bastion, and it's kind of funny because as soon as you walk outside of it, you just see crazy folks. You know what I'm saying? And folks in a lot of pain. So it's a weird kind of setup. But yeah, I've been working over there, and it's dope. It's dope working at Pixar. I'm actually working on something on the side, like my own project. And that's going really well. You know, Keenan's involved in it. You know what I mean? He's been a kind of a guiding light for me right now. Like, he has a lot of wisdom. So when I got some questions, I go ahead and head over to Keenan, and he'd be having the answers and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I won't get too much into that. I'll come back to his show when we get to the point where we can start kind of, showing out. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've been at Pixar for a while now, and my number one trade is 3D modeling in the sets department. So I don't know, for y'all that don't know what that is, we model everything else outside of the characters. So my job would be to model this whole entire room, the chair I'm sitting in, the camera I'm using right here. That would be my responsibility in the sets department. And I have this title called technical director, which is weird because I'm not too technical, but I'm learning real quick that if you're not technical at Pixar, you might not be there for long. So I'm actually having crash courses learning this stuff. So yeah, I'm happy to be here, man, and ready to get into it. I'm kind of nervous because y'all comedians, man, you'll take people into realms that we ain't ready for. You know what I'm
No,
saying? So
I'll be nice. I'll be nice. But that kind of reminds me of that meme. Have you seen that meme of that kid standing in the IT room, in the server room with the wires? And he's like, "This is what it looks like when you lie on your resume," and he's just like standing there trying to figure out.
there you go. There you go.
That's me.
Exactly.
That's literally almost me on every job. Like for for most people that know me, you know that I'm more of a creative, right? But getting creative jobs aren't easy, especially in Los Angeles, right? In Los Angeles, like getting the job where you're like in charge of creating, it's not as easy as you think. There's steps that you have to work up. You
Oh
either
yeah.
start in another department, like you, Dre, you start in a whole another department,
Yep.
and
Facilities.
then you start working your way up, and then you eventually get to a point like that's why it's cool to work at studios where you can get like upward mobility, right?
Yeah, you
um
gotta. Yeah, if you find the right people, man, and I've been lucky enough that the people I ran into were just dope as hell, man, and they have my back. Yeah,
yeah,
they have my
yeah,
back. Yeah, same thing at Pixar. There's a lot of people over there that got my back. Like, Dre, you need something, let me know. I got you. Just simple and plain. You know what I mean? Which I like that. I don't like all that pomp and circumstance shit.
no, it's all my family's been like that. The Floyd family has been like that the whole time. We don't really flaunt our accomplishments. We just get the work done.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. Yeah, I'd rather, instead of flaunting, I'd rather kick it at my house and reflect on the accomplishment that I got. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah.
And by the way, his wife makes incredible carne asada. I'm not gonna call them tacos because they weren't tacos, but the carne asada.
It's it's carne asada with and then carne viste. So and empanadas and she kind of goes
Yeah.
wild with it. Yeah.
What was that soup called that we had around
Ajiaco.
Christmas? Ajiaco. Yeah.
Yeah, ajiaco. Yeah. Off the
I,
chain. Off the
I'm
chain.
coming back from that.
Okay.
I've lost weight since January 1st so that I can
You
come
can come
back
back here and find it.
and find it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All good. All good. For sure.
So Dre, oh man, this is a subject that I've been wanting to talk about for since it happened. But it seems like January 2023 was a bad month for Black police officers.
Mm.
We
I
got
mean,
caught. I mean, look,
I don't know how.
okay,
I mean, it's a scale depending on depending on what you think bad is. You know what I'm saying? Me being an ex-con, they didn't go through too much.
well, I don't know if you want to get into that. You want to get into that a little bit, or you want to?
We can. I'll fold it in. I'll fold. It's all
Okay.
gumbo. It's all gumbo.
So now let me say this because I have a plethora of listeners of different backgrounds and stuff that listen to my podcast. I'm going to say no. I'm not saying Black police officers are bad. I'm not saying. Obviously, there's more good police officers than bad ones. If you will, if
And we
we,
could just say black police officers when they're on duty aren't black.
yeah, they're police officers.
They're
They're
police
blue.
officers. Yeah,
They're blue.
100%.
And well, I mean, when you think about that too, that's like that conversation about blacks being in the workforce in the first place, right? Because every time you go and you work in like corporate America and stuff, it's always we're a family, right? But you know as well as I know that that's kind of like an evergreen statement, right?
Yeah.
How everybody skews to whatever the color of that company is. Um, and you see that because of the sensitivities that you endure at the company. Because
Yeah.
you'll just be there being black, just hanging out, and then someone to come up and say something goofy, um, and you're just like, like you're like, if I smacked shit out of you, you would learn your lesson. But that would skew the company culture in a way that I would have to be let go, right?
Yeah, I would say yeah for the most part, yeah, unless you have them people that are in your circle that are willing to ride, and I mean ride. You know what I'm saying? When the kitchen gets hot, they still right there. You know what I'm saying? And that's far few in between. You know what I mean? Even with us.
Yeah,
Even with us, like you'll find some black folks that they're about the revolution all day till that temperature go up, and then they disappear. Where they go? They gone? Exit stage left. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, you're right.
Exactly. Especially if they work in HR.
100%.
Oh, I thought we was brothers. Well, I'm HR today, Keenan. So it's like, ugh.
Listen, I've told HR to their face, I know you're not here for me. I don't pay your bills. The company pays your bills. Let's not pretend. I don't like that.
Have you ever had like another black person not give a shit about you, and then when they need something, they throw in being black?
Oh man,
Yo,
listen.
when they're looking for the hookup, they're like, yo man, we brothers.
Listen, I've had the varying degrees of that scenario, basically. And it's, yeah. And I just, you know what I try to do? Sean King said, don't let your anger outdo your activism. So I try to just focus on what I'm supposed to be doing and let me find the soldiers that I require that can do what I do, like yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I just stick close to them, man, because that kind of stuff will definitely have you feeling a little, like, I ain't gonna lie, like recently, you know, I've been feeling a little aggressive, you know what I'm saying? And so I've been just staying to myself. You know, at work, I just go to work, do my job, and you know what I'm saying, go back to, because you know, there's always those situations where, like, you know, they feel like the thousand cuts, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I just, again, I got my circle though. I'll be like, I'm at the desk, and they know what that means. So they come by and be like, what's good? You know what I'm saying? And they come in and they sit down and we chop it up. And so I already have my shit set for that. You know, I've accepted how the game is played and what the landscape looks like, and I just leave it at that. That hope shit, I'm good, homie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried eating hope one time. I was hungry afterwards. I was hungry as hell. So no, I recognize what it is, and you know, move accordingly.
That hope was lettuce wrapped.
Listen, okay, 100%. Yeah.
And thank you from that quote by that wise white man, Sean King.
Damn. Hey, we gotta give him his respect though, because he's on the front line. I can't.
He is on the front line. He has that huge gash in his face. That's more than I'm willing to give.
That's what I'm saying. And he's still on the front line. Still.
I get his emails every day in my spam folder.
Yeah, so do I. They definitely go to spam. But
yeah.
but I gotta give him his respect. He's actually out there doing the actual work. Like, I can imagine if he was back in the civil rights movement, right? He would have been the one grain of salt in the pepper, right?
Yeah.
But he would have been right there though. He would have been right there.
Well, I mean, but that's what I miss about those days. That like you look at the history and you're like, and people are like, no, I'm willing to put my life on the line for what I believe in. And I have a feeling that as a whole, we've gotten a little bit too comfortable. And I think that's why there's like a handful of us that are really like, because the truth of the matter is, it's a full-time job. It's a full-time job to fight injustices.
I would say, so we know the term work smarter, not harder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We all have different skills, right? Fold in the movement into what you do naturally. Now it's not, right? Like what I'm doing on the side, you know about my project because you helped me with it, right? That project has that folded into it. And that's all we need to do. Just fold it into what you do.
And that's why I've been saying to you, that's why when we've been talking about your project, I've been like, yo, prepare yourself, because it's not just like, I could see it already. You understand what I'm saying? It's like one of those things where it's like, it's a personal project to us, but at the same time, it's not, it strikes a chord with so many people. And you're correct. Yeah, what you're saying is exactly right. It's what can you use in your wheelhouse to move the needle forward? And it's nice to actually sit down and talk to people that are like, okay, this is what I can offer, and this is the practicality, and this is the realistic take on what I can do to inspire.
Yeah, that I look at it like logistics, right? What do you do naturally? What do you wake up and go to bed doing? Okay, take that. and put in a little bit of social justice while you're doing it. That's all you got to do, right? And now it's not such a, because I think people think when you're fighting for better, you're supposed to take yourself out of what you do naturally. You're supposed to remove yourself from this square, and now you're supposed to be Dr. King. Let's be clear. Not too many people can be Dr. King.
Yes.
Not too many people can be Malcolm X. These people are, you know what I mean? We're not asking for that. It's like, just fold in what you're doing, fold in the love with what you're doing with your 9 to 5 or your business or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, I know I'm going to catch smoke for what I'm making, you know what I'm saying? Which is fine. What's worse than facing 25 to life? And I did that and I came out okay, you know what I'm saying? So I'm ready for the smoke. And also I know that through that smoke, when it clears, I'm going to have made progress for my community. If it's a little bit, that's enough.
Yeah.
On to the next project. And that's it. And I think people they overthink it, I think. You know what I'm saying? They overthink that shit, or they might be trying to just talk themselves out of it so they ain't got to deal with no smoke.
Yeah, it's the comfort. It's the comfort that people want.
Oh
right?
man, comfort's nice. I ain't gonna lie. My office is nice. I ain't even gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's like, when I think about it, you know what when I changed is when I went to the Million Man March in 2015. And I saw, when I got there, I was so that's the first time I've been to DC. I never been to DC in my life. Me and you talked. I haven't been too many places. I ain't even been anywhere that requires a passport. You know what I'm saying? I'm an open book. I'll tell motherfuckers what it is. Oh, we can cuss on here, right?
Yes.
I guess we've been cussing. So I tell motherfuckers what it is. So when I went out there for the Million Man March, the first thing I thought was like, damn, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I mean? Like, cats drove there on their hogs, 1,200 miles, what, you know what I'm saying, to be there. And you got Farrakhan out there with no bulletproof shield. He's just out there. I'm like, what am I doing? Damn. Like, I felt like I don't do shit for my community, man. I felt horrible. I said, I gotta start making moves, man. Fuck all this. And so I think, I immediately took it back to what I do every day. I said, okay, I'm an artist. I'm a creator. Let me see how I can use that to empower others. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? And I said, I know it's going to make things harder, but do you want easy or do you want change? You can't have both. You can't be the man in the arena and the man in the bleachers. You got to choose one, but the man in the bleachers can still make some change. They can cheer us on, right? They could, what I'm saying? They can amplify what we're doing, but it's like, bro, make the decision and keep it moving, man.
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, you got to see that in comedy too, when you try to say something profound. Not even really say something profound, but people be trying to put people in their lanes all the time. But it's like,
yeah, and I think that's just the lack of education now. I think we don't. Nuance is foreign now.
Nuance, sarcasm.
Nuance is foreign.
It's almost like when people are sarcastic now, it's just mean. It's not really. It's not even smart anymore. You feel me?
That's what I'm saying. We have a lack of. I mean, it all once. I believe it was Reagan that took away free college, and did some other things too.
Reaganomics,
once that happens,
crack cocaine.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, a whole list of shit. Once that happened, it's hard. Now it's hard for people because a lot of people say, you don't need college. College ain't, whatever. And I'll talk to these people. I say, if college was free, would you go? They're like, hell yeah. I said, so really, you're not saying you don't need college. You're lying. What you're saying is you should not have to pay for it, which is true. So say that. Say that you shouldn't have to pay for college, and if it was free like it used to be, you would be willing to go. Because I think, once again, we're adding the nuance in there. I said, because what you're saying is false. You're basically saying that access to higher education is not important. That's what you're saying. When in reality, you want the higher education, but you can't afford it because of how things work in our economy in the U.S. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Stop being so intellectually lazy, man. Yeah.
I'm actually looking something up. for a second. Oh yeah. All right. Sorry about that. But yeah, what you're saying is what you're saying. I agree with. Um, and it's getting to a point. I mean, that's the frustration that I see. When it comes to what are people willing to do? I feel like that more people are willing to put more effort into things for clout
Absolutely.
versus which is kind of, I talk a lot on this podcast about social media and how social media and how social media affects black people in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times um a lot of times on social media, a lot of things are done for the masses, right? And going back to what we were talking
Mm-hmm.
about like entertainment and comedy, is that people get uncomfortable, but it you have to earn that respect for people to be uncomfortable with what you say. Like with the Dave Chappelle or like a white comic that says something, it's like, oh, this guy's like edgy and blah blah blah. But it's like when you're like me and you're just like, oh well, this is because I talk about reality.
Yeah.
And it's the reality that people don't want because it's not the surface reality. It's you're goofy and this is why you're goofy. But
Right.
I'm not saying you're goofy. I'm saying this is goofy, and then people know it's them, and then they're like, "Oh, I that comic made me feel a certain type of way," right?
See, and already, you've already went beyond where most people are mentally right now, intellectually right now. You've already
Yeah,
went beyond that already.
because what happens is that everyone thinks they're right.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they're right, but then like I remember I had and this kind of illustrates what I'm talking about. When I first moved to California, I had a roommate that she was white, but she dated black guys, right? And she would just you know how California white people that hang out with black people are sometimes. They're just goofy. They just be saying stuff that's goofy.
Depending on what area.
Well, I'm talking like a person that doesn't really hang around black people, but now hangs around black people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about a white woman from like Oakland. I'm talking like a white woman from. I'm talking about a white woman from like the north side of Rancho Cucamonga. You understand what I'm saying? So so a lot of times is they'll like find out I'll do comedy and they're like, oh, you should like talk about me in your set, right? You should talk about me because they
Do they say
think
that really?
yeah, they be like, you should talk about me. I know I'm goofy. You should talk about me, but they don't know how comedy works.
Hmm. Okay.
They think it's just jokey jokes.
Right.
Oh,
Again, they're not
oh,
understanding.
my roommate's goofy or whatever. Like she has dogs. I'm like, oh no, this bitch dates white dudes and she's fucking crazy. This is what she said to me the other day, right? And then everybody laughs because they're like, that's stupid. Why would somebody say that, right?
Right.
So then she's sitting there like, oh, you guys are making fun of me as a person because I'm
Right.
goofy, right? So the hurt is because the thing about it is nobody around this person calls them out. No one like the black
Right.
guys that she's messing with aren't telling her she's acting goofy, right?
Right.
So she has no
Well, I mean,
barometer.
she's topping them off. I mean,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
they're not gonna say anything, right?
Yeah.
So there's no barometer of what's going on because her circle isn't. So when you take it out to strangers and 300 strangers are laughing at how goofy this you are, she's like, "Fuck!" Like
Right. The
I
reality sets in.
I didn't know that I'm a goofball because no
Right.
one tells me I'm a goof. But then instead of her being like, "Man, I need to change," which you don't have to change it. They're just jokes. No one needs to change just because they hear a joke.
Well, I think what you hit the nail on the head, where it's like a person might say, "Oh, I need to change." No, you need to figure out who you really are and like who you are, whatever that may
Yeah,
be. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. So I think I think comedians first off, we talked about this. Y'all are fast. Y'all are quick.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And you'll slip something by somebody, pew, and then 30 minutes later they're like, oh, what the fuck did he? Wait a minute. Y'all are fast. So I think if a person is working on themselves and trying to become comfortable within themselves, within their own skin, then it's okay. Like me, I got a big ass head. My feet are flat bricks with toes and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I got one thing too.
There's all kind of shit wrong with me, but it's like, but I know what I bring to the table, so I'm good. You know, and I got my folks that respect me and I got my circle, so I'm good. So like, if a motherfucker snap on me, yeah, I definitely got some shit wrong with me. I need some help in some areas. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what it is because we live in a society now where people are living phony because they're scared to be who they really are.
Yeah, and I always say I say it's too expensive to be somebody else. I ain't doing it.
Yeah,
It is way too much energy, man.
and that's the reason why I think the gun barrel has turned to comedy, because comedy is calling out everyone for being phony, and they're like,
well, comedy's doing what comedy does, right?
yeah,
That's this comedy takes the world and tries to help you digest it in a way that's a little bit more palatable, right?
yeah.
Yeah, but things have gotten so strange, and y'all are gonna call it out, you know?
Well, it's gotten so strange is because people are so scared that they don't know they don't know how to do anything else. So you're like, well, I'm phony because I'm scared of to say something, blah 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 blah. Now this comic is calling me out for being phony. I don't know what to do because I don't want to get canceled, blah blah blah. So people end up just like attacking.
Yeah,
It's like when the raccoon gets cornered. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like when an animal gets cornered, they jump out. So everybody is feeling cornered because no one really like knows who they are anymore.
yeah. And
And
I think people. I think on the it might be a little bit different. It might be people know who they are and they don't like it, but they don't know what to do about it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
that's the point there. Yeah,
Like
exactly.
they don't. So here's an example. When I was working at DreamWorks years ago, I was working with this one lady. She was hella cool and shit. You know what I'm saying? Years later, we're talking. We get reconnected. We're talking and whatever. She told me, Dre, I didn't like really talking to you that much because you were so authentic. I felt scared people would see my authenticity.
Mm.
And I was trying to front and keep up certain images so I can make moves. And she said every time you came around, you were just you all the time. And that made me feel like, somebody seeing me now. So
Hmm.
she said it. So I avoided you a lot of time. I'm like, damn, for real, why don't you come talk to me? And she was like, you don't get it. I didn't want you to see me either. I said, but I don't judge. She was like, exactly. That's why I didn't want you to make me feel like I was okay to be myself. Because what if other people are judging? You don't judge. But what if other people are judging me? I said,
Ain't
oh,
that crazy?
I said, damn. And I said to her, I said, that's fucked up, man. You know, she says it is. I said, I wish you would have came and talked to me. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe we could have did something. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, she felt so frightened to be herself. She stayed away from people that were themselves. It's wild, man. It's a wild thing. And I feel bad for like, that's why I keep my circle small, because there's a lot of weird shit going on. And it just makes me get aggressive. And I'm like, I know they ain't doing it. I know they're not intentionally doing it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have the tools to help. I'm not a psychologist. I don't have a degree in that shit. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? This
Hmm.
is some deep rooted shit over here. You know what I mean? And I think so when people like that go to comedy shows where y'all are kind of like psychologists, y'all get deep into the id of people. And they don't want that. They think they do, but they don't want
Well,
that.
it's a lot of emotional manipulation because
It
because
is.
the laughs are supposed to be involuntary.
And you're the
That's
maestro, right? You're the maestro. It's
yeah.
like I'm going to let you know why this thing is funny.
Like you can
Right.
tell, like a lot of newer comedians now put videos up, and when you hear like when you've been doing comedy for a while, you know when a laugh is authentic and inauthentic. You know when it's kind of like, oh, this is my friend, so I'm gonna laugh type thing, right? You
Right.
hear a lot of that. You hear a lot of those laughs in LA, and you're like, oh, this isn't like real laughs. This is because this guy has like 50,000 followers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A voluntary, involuntary laugh. People are like upset about it
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
when they're done. Like you know it's
Like,
not
damn, I can't
you.
believe I laughed at that shit. That's wild. You feel bad. You laughed at some shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it's like. It's like fuck. It's like I wasn't supposed to because again they're being told every day not to punch down,
Right.
but the goalpost keeps moving.
Yes, it does.
So today it's okay. You're not allowed to punch down on this group of people. I mean, obviously, right? But then it starts getting closer where it's like, wait a minute, that's just somebody that's goofy. So I can't
Right.
talk about or not even somebody. It's just this is just a goofy thing.
Right. Right. Right.
So I
Right. Right.
can't talk about a goofy thing now. Like people are trying to like when that Chris Rock thing happened, the Chris Rock Will Smith thing happened. I didn't care either way. The only thing I cared about.
Yeah, I didn't get why people was flipping out. I'm like, listen, I talked to people about this. I said, okay, check this out. Like certain people, I said, check this out. You at the cookout, backyard, chilling, right?
Uh-huh.
Cats get into it. How you feel about that? You don't care, right? It's like, okay, they got into it, it's over. Really, what you care about it was at this white man, it was in this white man's house. And you want to be on your best behavior for white folks. That's what you really care about. And they were like,
And
don't do that.
that's the
Don't.
problem. That's the problem I had with the shit. Because
Yeah,
I'm like, y'all don't care about Jada. Y'all don't care about Will. Y'all don't care about Chris. It was in front
not
of
at all.
it was in front of 100 million white folks.
And we get painted with a broad brush.
And you
And
were
you're
like,
like,
oh my
oh,
God, this.
they're ruining my chances to get white approval. It's like that's what you're really worried about. And if that's what and my thing is, it's fine if you're worried about that. Just be honest about it.
Just
Just
say
say
that.
that. Just say
Because
that.
because in the same hour that Will Smith smacked the shit out of Chris Rock, the Flash was in Hawaii. The same hour. Like the exact same. I'm not even fucking with you. Like the exact same time
Yeah, I've been hearing about the stories
that 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 the
yeah.
slap happened. Ezra Miller was in Hawaii threatening to kill people.
I remember, and there was a whole bunch of other stuff too.
And he went to
Yeah.
jail and he got bailed out by a couple and he robbed them and threatened to kill them too and left. The same out, like I'm not talking about like a day before or a day after. The same hour that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
100%. Yeah. That's why when I saw what happened, what I said was, damn, ain't they cool? What happened? I'm talking about them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope they can reconcile. You know what I'm saying? I hope like one of the Rock brothers just goes to Will and be like, I need 5 minutes in the backyard and we good. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. That's
Get Tony to be like, yo, well, let's go out back and talk real quick.
And we can just and we're good. You know what I'm saying? What you did was foul. You answer for it. That's it. That's what I wasn't even thinking about the awards. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about no, you know what I'm saying? That's not our house. They don't give a fuck about us. You know what I'm saying? If we win awards over there, cool, whatever. You know what I mean? But they don't give a shit about the fact that two of our icons are beefing. They don't give a shit about Will and Chris. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And definitely nobody gave a shit about Jada, which is cold. You know what I'm saying? Because we all, again, I deal with shit. I deal with shit head on. We're all fucked up in the hood. We got things to work out. You know what I'm saying? So does Jada, and Jada's like getting lost in the sauce, which is fucked up. We should be protecting our women and not leaving them to the wolves and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, I mean, it was the conversations that surrounded that were crazy. The conversations around that were surrounded because on one side, as a comedian, I'm like, it's a joke. He shouldn't have
You gonna
slapped him.
do your job. You gonna do your job. You know what I'm saying?
He shouldn't have slapped him. But then at the same time, too, I'm also of the ilk that if someone says something foul to me, they should also be able to, you should also be able to slap the shit out of them.
Listen, I told people when I was talking to folks at work, I said, let me tell you something. I'm gonna be very clear. It's very simple. You ain't gonna tell me how I can protect mine.
Yeah.
That's the end of the discussion. The minute you step in here and choose to help me protect mine, then you can have an opinion. Other than that, fuck you. That's it. If I choose to protect mine the way I protect mine, whatever that is, whether that's an email or whether it's a house visit, that's what I choose to do, and I don't need to hear nothing at all. And that was, I think, once we were in the thread talking, and I said, this ain't about the award show. This ain't about that they're icons. This ain't, you know what I'm saying? Will made a choice on how to protect his. Now he has to deal with Brock and his brothers about that shit. But how you gonna tell a man how to protect his? That's wild. I'm not doing that.
It seems like Will has moved on. Chris is still talking about on stage. Everybody's doing
Chris got to
thing.
capitalize on it. You know what I'm saying? Chris he a smart businessman.
I mean, he was going to sell out his tour anyway, but
true.
It's just one of those things where, well, first of all, Will Smith is back. Bad Boys 4 is in pre-production right now.
And I heard people trying to say, I don't know if I can support Will Smith anymore. You know what I said to them? I said, motherfucker, I was facing 25 to life for attempted murder. What now? Go on, get up and move away from me. Exactly. Shut the fuck up, man.
Shut the fuck up. He was the Fresh Prince. He was the Fresh Prince for 30 years.
That man has been the kindest, nicest man, and in my opinion, he don't have to be. You know what I'm saying? If motherfuckers is doing something wrong to you, they doing something wrong to you. If you have to check somebody, you got to check somebody. But he's been the nicest, kindest cat. This is it.
They tried to treat Will Smith like he was Bill Cosby.
It's crazy
because all the white people, Judd Apatow, Amy Schumer, this toxic masculinity, this violence, and I'm like, shut your white ass up. This is Hollywood.
You got cats in Hollywood that are doing all kind of crazy shit.
First of all, you're making movies where you're shooting babies in the face with bazookas. Also, y'all are protected predators.
Okay.
In Hollywood. Okay. People are being sexual. So Ezra Miller still has his movie coming out in June 16th, which I'm gonna go see, by the way. Actually, it's dope. Like when I saw
it, you know what? It does look dope, but man, he's a weird one, man. He's a weird one. And what I say by that, I'm talking about you got cats out there that are doing dumb shit, but he seems like a threat. You know what I'm saying?
I think
he seems like a legit threat.
I think it's they. They is a non-binary person or whatever the fuck, right?
Oh, that's right. He's they. So, that's right. So they seem, you know what I'm saying?
So every time I was like, fuck Ezra Miller. Like anytime someone talk about Will Smith, I would bring Ezra Miller to the conversation. Fuck Ezra Miller. Their movie should be canceled. Blah 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 and all that stuff. And then I saw that preview, dog, and I was like, I think Warner Brothers has a point.
when I saw Keaton walk up, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh shit.
I was like, okay. I see what you're talking about. I get it. Like,
you're like, wait, and here's where you start saying this. We got to learn how to separate the art from the artist.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, I think I might be able to separate the art from the artist on this one. All right, I got you.
So wait, does that mean I can listen to R. Kelly again?
You can do whatever you want. Do you know how many love-making tracks when I've been banging it out with a woman that has had R. Kelly on it after he went to jail, and no one was like, I don't know if we should do this. No, it kept going. I was like,
no, he know how to make good music. You know what I'm saying? We called it baby making music, and he called it baby taking music. I would think, right? I would
Do you think? Do you think he played his own music when he was peeing on people?
absolutely. He is a narcissist, 100%.
Oh my god!
He definitely was, and I wouldn't be
Oh my
surprised if
god!
he played the one. I wouldn't be surprised if he played what's that one dedication, the one he did with his group about his mama. He probably played that one while he was pissing on them
Oh
girls.
god!
I wouldn't be surprised. He a weirdo. I ain't gonna lie though.
So,
I stopped listening to music a long time ago because he would just once you get weird, like what Will Smith did, that's hood shit. You know what I'm saying? But when shit gets very weird and it's a constant, now it was like hard for me to listen to his music because I kept just thinking,
but
about
it's
I kept
yeah.
thinking about what was he writing or what was he thinking about while he was writing that shit. So
It
that one why I couldn't separate the art from the artist. I couldn't do
it
it.
almost feels like he's like evilly crazy because he has his own he has mental issues too, but it's almost like it's in that diabolical territory where he's like, oh, you might be mentally disabled, but you also know what you're doing. Like you basically, you
Let
know.
me tell you. Let me tell you what Nicole said. I'm telling you. I'm telling Nicole she need to come on here and talk to folks, but she won't. She ain't with that. She said like this. I said, how did a motherfucker like that make that powerful music about love and about connection and all this stuff? You know what I'm saying? And she says he's probably so good at it because he never got it. He's singing about the thing that he knows he'll never have. I said, God damn.
That's a bar.
Just for that second, I felt bad for the brother. You know what I'm saying? She was like, hey, he probably never had it. I'm like, whew.
And
That's
now
heavy.
it's all coming down on him now because he has to pay the price. He
Yeah,
has to, he has to
rightfully
pay
so.
he has to pay the Pied Piper.
Yeah, he got to get this work. Yeah, he's no longer the Pied Piper. Yeah. Now,
Yeah,
now he's singing to the tune of the Department of Corrections now.
exactly.
Yeah, pretty much. And let me tell you, it's not a good tune. I was dancing it for a while. It ain't cool. It ain't cool. That
So
motherfucker ain't cool.
so speaking of peeing on people, these groups of cops, these groups of black cops.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
January we had a group of black police officers, two different groups, one in Memphis and the other one was in. Wait, were they both in Memphis?
Memphis is kind of owning. If they both in
Wait a
Memphis, they
minute.
kind of owning the airways right now.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Startling revelation. Startling revelation. Here we go.
So the cops so both of these groups of cops were gangbanging. One, it was more pleasurable, and the other one, it was not.
Exactly.
And we're talking about the white woman that was gangbanged by the groups of cops on duty, and
While the husband watched.
while the husband watched in uniform, and the Tyree Nichols tragedy where the young
Yeah.
man was beat and died a few days later.
Mm-hmm.
So they won't say what city it is. What city is it? Tennessee. They're saying the Tennessee cop. Um, hold on. Let me look. Let me
I
look because
guess when you think about how often this happens all over the country, you could just say the U.S. and you're correct.
the U.S. But this is something very specific. Police department. Which police department was she in? Laverne, Lavergne, Lavergne.
I don't even. I ain't even gonna try.
La,
That's the white woman's name.
no. That's the name of the town.
Oh wait, say it again. What is it?
Lavergne. Lavergne.
La 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 Vergna.
Wait, let me Wikipedia.
Lavergna. Lavergna.
Lavergne. That sounds like a
Okay.
Tennessee town.
And it sounds like we're something like that having Lavergna.
So it's Laverne with a G.
Oh, for
That's
real?
some Tennessee shit. We're going to put a G in this name and confuse the Negroes. So
Word.
the gangbang with the white woman was in Laverne, Tennessee.
Now here's my thing. Let me put this out there right now. I don't even see how this is a story outside of the fact that they were on duty, right?
They got
Like if she's trying to get filled up, you know what I'm saying, by the mandingos. I mean, and if
it's
the
because
husband is digging it, I don't see the issue here. You know what I'm saying? They all having a good time. Now, if it's on duty, that's a problem.
it's that's what I'm saying. It was on duty. Now, if you want to dress up as cops,
Yeah,
like after duty, if you want to dress up as cops and like go over and like do the thing, then do that. Because I'm not kink shaming nobody. If you try to get
exactly.
blacked, good for you.
For
But
sure.
but how you gonna do it with the cam, with the body cam on,
Yeah,
and the
that's wild.
and the cam and
Wait,
the cop
they
car?
recorded everything with the body cam?
I don't know, but I would if I was going to do it. I'd be like, yo, let's we might be able to sell because we. I
What?
would say, yo, I'm like, yo, niggas, we're about to get fired. We need to have something to sell.
You know that's see that good businessman right here.
Yeah, I'm like, look,
You putting a silver lining in that dark ass cloud.
because it's one of the things is like what's going to happen. Be like, yo, we the only black cops in this department, and we're about to gangbang
Yeah,
this tiny white girl.
no, you're right.
We all about to get fired,
It's
so we
over.
might as well make the most of it. Like we might as well have a backup plan or something because there's
Have to
no
take.
way we're
But
gonna.
wait a minute.
Uh,
But if they use the body cams,
oh wait, they have to
technically,
wait to get the
technically
footage.
that footage is owned by the county.
Yeah, and they might they have to get like a don't you have to get like a warrant or something to like
Yeah, like it wouldn't be
actually
there.
get the footage?
That would yeah, that footage would be owned by the county. It'd be owned
It
by the
would
police
be
department.
court. It has to be court ordered.
Yeah, so
Man,
I don't know if the court is gonna allow them to take their video so they can go sell it to Pornhub. I don't know if they're gonna do that.
so the logic has ruined my joke. I got it.
My bad. I'm just
So
saying. Because we went to the business side, so now it's like, no, we gotta protect the bag now. We gotta protect the bag.
we got to protect. I got no exactly. So that gangbang took place in Laverne, Tennessee, and the other gangbang that resulted in Tyree Nichols' death was in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay, so okay, so
So
Tennessee.
there's something going on with cops in Tennessee.
Maybe they're kind of all getting together talking about all the things they wish they could have done or something. I don't know.
Like a cop convention or something.
Yeah, Killer Cop Convention, KCC in Tennessee.
KCC in Tennessee.
KCC in Tennessee. There you go.
That convention sounds like it has good barbecue
And hoods.
Oh yeah.
It's Tennessee, so you know they gonna have the hoods on the smokers and the hoods on the white men.
And on the horses. You're like, why the fuck are there horses here?
Why the horses? Why the hoods on the horses? The horses, they innocent in all this. You know what I'm saying?
Because they don't want people to recognize the horse.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Horses do have unique features. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So now we get it. KCC in Tennessee, hoods all around, and they were just discussing all the shit they did, all the fucked up shit they wanted to do.
So
wait, do the black cops wear hoods too?
that's
or
the
no?
question. That's the question.
Are they allowed to wear hoods?
I think this is something that we should break down. Sometimes, I mean, we're all Americans. Can we agree on that? We're all Americans to a certain extent, right? Sometimes, as a black person, you really want to find a place to fit in, right? And I kind of know where it comes from because I'm originally from Mobile, Alabama. All white folks. I mean, all black folks. Grew up all black folks. My whole street black, neighbors black, family black, obviously. From there, we moved to Pennsylvania. First, we moved to Erie, then we moved to Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Right? In Williamsport, everybody around me was white, except for like a handful of friends. Right?
So you
everybody,
grew up all black folks. Then you eventually moved
to Pennsylvania. Yeah.
And then you moved into an area where it was just all white folks.
It was all white folks, right?
Okay, okay.
So it was like all white folks. But even like the white folks, I mean, they weren't like welcoming. There was a lot of racist. There was a lot of,
Of course.
ignorant people and all that stuff. So I was myself, but I never really was like, oh, I fit in here. Right. And I think I really had to be, I really had to discipline myself and really like check my emotions when it came to certain things, right? Because what we do in the black community a lot of times is when there's like a person that's like outside, we kind of, you know, we ain't the nicest people. Like we ain't the friendliest people sometimes when it comes to
Yeah.
people that are different than us, right?
I think you know what I think? We're giving people, but yeah, we're not nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We don't do the niceties too well.
Like we're empathetic to other people, but at the same time, when it comes to like, well, now for some reason, these new black folks are giving the cookout invitations to all these goofy white people. I don't know what the fuck that's about, but
You just said what it's about. They want to belong.
yeah, but when it comes to
They
like
try
other,
they trying to buy their way in with some brisket.
exactly, when it comes to like other black people that might be a little different or nerdy or whatever, it's rough, bro. It's rough, and
Yeah,
I'm
it's a little
and I'm
strange.
and I'm talking about I lived in Philly. Like I lived in because when I moved out, I didn't make a lot of money, so I lived in the hood. Like, let's be real, I lived in the hood. I lived in the hood in Philly. I lived in the hood in New York. You know, when I moved out, all that shit, right?
Hmm.
Um, and when I say the hood, I'm just like the poor part of town. That's what I mean. I'm not
Oh, I
saying the
know.
hood.
I got you.
I'm
I
not
got
saying
you.
the hood like I'm from the hood because I'm not.
Yeah, you ain't who banging and all that. You ain't who
I got,
banging. I got
I
you.
got, I very much have cul-de-sac voice. You understand what I'm saying? But
Wait,
uh,
wait. Break down cul-de-sac voice. I gotta hit me with
so
that. What's
so
how?
so so
What's the definition of that? I gotta hear this definition.
so cul-de-sac voice is when you grow up in the suburbs and you usually tuck your shirt in. You tuck your shirt in, you wave at your neighbors, and you smile for no reason.
So wait, I'm my mind is going, my imagination's going. So this sounds like how Clark Kent turns into Superman. So instead of ripping the shirt open, you tuck your shirt in and wave, and poof, you
Yeah,
got the
you take your
cul-de-sac
turn.
voice.
You're like, hi everyone,
Oh shit!
and you can't get rid of like you can't code switch. Like you can't. You're like, oh, this is just how I talk. Hi, how are you?
Let me tuck my shirt in and put it and wave it.
And then,
Transform.
and then what happens is you go to other places and you're just living and you're trying to talk. You're trying to just be like, yo, what's up, everybody? You lived in the cul-de-sac, didn't you? And it's like, fuck.
God damn. Oh my god.
It's like, fuck. I can't even, I'm trying to fit in.
I go, listen, for me, I feel like, and I think my mother kind of shut it down. I never really felt like I fit in anywhere
Mm.
with any group. You know what I'm saying? I got people I'm close to, but I never felt like I fit into a group at all. But my mother told me when I was younger, she said, boy, and it's funny too, she's from Tennessee. so so she said, boy, people are always gonna find an excuse to hate you. Don't help them by hating yourself. Just do what the fuck you want to do.
That's real.
Yeah,
That's
and that was it.
and that's and that's the point I was getting to. It was a discipline to say, well, I'm me.
Yeah,
And even now in my 30s, you still have people showing up that try to make you feel like you're less than.
which is here. And here's what's crazy, because when I first met you, I'm like, Keenan, a cool motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And he quick. He got game. That's what I saw
But
when I
that's
first met you.
but that's because I love myself. It's exactly what you're saying. It's just like, look, I'm gonna. It's to a point now, and you might agree with this too. But I'm just like, I don't give a fuck if you like me or not. And
Hundred
it's and
percent.
it's and it's not that
Yeah,
I'm out here being mean to people. I'm like, yo, I want to be your friend, Jay. I want to be your
yeah.
friend. I want to
Real
be
talk.
Nicole's friend. I want to be, I want to be people, I want to hang out. I want to have people, but at the same time, I'm not going to change myself.
Yeah, you ain't placating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
And
placating. Yeah, not at
and
all.
and and what happens to a lot of black folks is when you hang around a lot of white people want you to adjust to their circumstances.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like if you ever go to like a white Thanksgiving,
Mm-hmm.
before you go in, your friend will turn to you and be like, okay,
Hey, the turd was serious.
yeah.
The turd was
Uh, I
serious.
I just want to let you, Keaton. I just want to let you know that my grandfather is a little old school. You know what I mean? Like he's a little like.
Why don't they?
I mean,
Why don't they just say, "Hey, he gonna hate your ass."
but that's what they get to. Like they'll be fine. But yo, he's a little. He's from like a yesteryear. He's kind of what
They
you
make
say?
it sound. They make it sound so innocent, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, what does
It's
that
like
mean?
you
He's
mean
old, right?
he attended public hangings. He knows how to tie
Yeah,
the knot in like 10
exactly.
seconds.
He'd be
Yeah,
like, "Oh, I just want to let you know that my grandfather is racist. Like my grandfather hates black people." And like, of course, I'm like, "Okay, well, let's kill him." Like, say less. Like, what do you expect me to do? Just sit there and let him say shit? No. And they really, when they say that to you, they really are like, "Oh, I just want you to like not say anything. Like, don't rock the boat. No, whatever.
this
Just
goes back to what you said. Like you were saying, like we're all Americans. Are we though? Right? Because I remember back in the day, War of 1812, right? They said we don't like how we're getting treated. We blowing all this shit up, but we can't even cuss somebody out for not liking us. Y'all could decimate, right? But we can't cuss a motherfucker out. Say
because
the racist.
because because while the grandfathers call me nigga and all that stuff at the dinner table, the family's like, "Oh my god, this is so embarrassing." They're not doing shit. They're just like, "Oh man, I wish he wasn't racist." But when I'm like, "Yo," they're like, "Yo, old man, let's go out back. I'm gonna smack the shit out of you."
100%, 100%.
Yo,
Real talk,
yo, the next time you call me a nigga, I'm gonna slap your dentures out your face.
right?
Then all of a sudden people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, Keaton,
Right.
why
Now
are you
it's an
being
issue.
so?"
Now it's an
And
issue.
and
Yeah.
then and then it goes back to the Will Smith Chris Rock thing.
Now it's an issue.
Where it's like, no, you're supposed to, Keaton, you're supposed to be on your best behavior. So
I
what
just
happened?
I
Oh, go
just
ahead.
had a conversation at work about this kind of similar thing about this. And I said, "Man, let me tell you something." I said, "I don't give a fuck about having no moral high ground." You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to call the police if somebody breaks in my house and they don't shoot me. That's what I give a shit about. I don't give a shit if you think I'm a nice person or not. You go kiss my ass, man. Unless you riding with me.
Hmm.
If you over here with us, cool. You know what I'm saying? But if you ain't over here 100%, man, look, I don't give a damn if you think I'm some type of violent, aggressive, what, because you think that anyway.
Yeah.
So why are we even having this discussion? It's crazy, man. This shit is crazy.
So so a lot of black people that grow up in these environments where it's skewed white, there's this unspoken rule of fitting in.
Oh yeah, I grew up with the same shit. Man, I was seventh grade. This shit still is fresh in my. It's right here. It's right here.
Mhm.
Seventh grade. I was in the English class, or no, I think she taught history. Anyway, I always participated in class, uh, answer questions, did my homework, the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? And one day, I forgot something came up missing on the teacher's desk. Right? You know where this is going.
Yep.
She's like, "Andre," because every day somebody took the attendance sheet down to the office. She said, "Andre, can you take the attendance sheet down?" Hell yeah, I got you. Woo, took it down to the office, right? Come back, all good. After the class was done, one of the white kids came over to me and said, "Dre, just want to let you know, Mrs. Andrews had somebody go through your bag while you were gone." I'm like, and I'm confused. right? I'm not, because I don't have the necessary language of the history, right? I don't know how to connect the dots yet. I'm 7th grade. I don't know this shit. So, and I was the one that always participated in class, did my homework. I was a good student. You know what I mean? And I said, oh, I get it. No matter what I do, this is the box I'm in that world. You know what I'm saying? And that's it.
I actually have a bit about that. My bit is about the importance of having Black fathers. And one of the things I set up is that I realized in 1st grade that everything was going to be my fault.
Yeah.
Because when in school especially, you're always at the wrong place at the wrong time. I was constantly getting in trouble at school.
100%.
And it was like stuff that I was saying, you know, it was like I said something and all of a sudden I'm in the hall. You know, I did a fart joke and all of a sudden I'm like in the principal's office. You know what I mean? It's like none of this is serious. You know what I mean? It's
100%.
So it got to a point where my parents just got tired. They were like, why the fuck do you keep calling us to this school over like dumb shit? And what it did was I actually became like a compulsive liar in school because I was just getting in trouble for like shit. I would just like be sitting there and I would like be getting in trouble for stuff. And when I would try to explain it to people, they're like, "Oh, it was because you're a bad or whatever." Like people like a lot of white people don't get that they're mentally skewed to people that are different than them. And even when I hang out with white people now, I don't bring up race at all. They be the ones that be bringing up race and racism and all that stuff to me and talking about shit.
Absolutely. Yeah, they do that. And you know, it's funny when they do that. I ask one question. I say, before we get into this, do you want my honest opinion or are you trying to feel better?
Yeah.
I ask them that first because I'm like, because we can take a 30-minute conversation and condense it down to like, you know, 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? I could just say you're a good person and you'll feel better, and then I can move on. You know what I'm saying? Because you really don't. I don't think you want these layers. You don't want these layers. It's a lot, you know, and I don't think you got the stamina to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real talk. But I mean, once, like when I talk to folks at work, or you know, if we chilling at the crib or whatever, I'll just say, once we accept the fact of our place in white America and know that it won't change, man, we gonna make leaps and bounds in progress. You know
because
what I'm saying?
it's all about moving within the core. That's it. I don't give a fuck. It needs to get to a point where it's like, I don't care what you think.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I know my time is better spent over here.
Yeah,
I know I'm gonna get more bang for my buck over here than I will over here.
It's not knowing your place. It's I don't need you.
Yeah,
and I'm moving on.
100%.
And what you're going to know is that's when you start getting the aggressive pushback, because they want you.
Course.
Because that's what the government has been doing it to us since slavery.
Yeah.
After slavery, the government was like, okay, well, we can give you money if you do X, Y, and Z. Yep. You know, we can give you this program, but you have to do X, Y, and Z. Like when we were doing our own stuff, what's it called? COINTELPRO?
Oh, COINTELPRO?
COINTELPRO? My tongue. COINTELPRO, they were like, oh, we gotta stop all this shit.
Same thing happened, you know, right after, you know, when Emancipation Proclamation happened, the same thing, right? Slaves now were enslaved Africans were freed, boom. And it's like, oh, I want to work. And then you know, white America got together and said, don't hire these people. And now when you're standing on the block waiting to work, we're going to pass a law saying loitering is illegal. It's illegal to stand on it. It's like there's always a
every
pushback.
year.
Yeah,
And then all of our financial centers and stuff were destroyed and all that stuff based on lies and everything. Then you had COINTELPRO.
you gotta give white America credit though. They're innovative, quick too.
Yeah, they're
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 quick,
they're
boy.
they're innovative in killing niggas. That's what it is.
Yes, yes,
Trying to
yes.
figure out ways. So for them, the norm is for Black people to be dependent on them.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's very, I think, and you know what? The terrifying notion of Black folks having their own and just doing their own thing. I think, again, you know, from years and years of what's going on, they're like, what are Black folks gonna do to us when they, you know what I mean? Knowing damn, and it's like you could tell we ain't thinking about y'all. We ain't thinking about no vengeance and all that kind of stuff. Most of us don't. We just want to live our lives and have a good time. You know what I'm saying?
It's literally just get out of my way.
That's it.
That's it.
Just yeah. Or
Just,
and if you want to be an ally, actually be one.
actually be one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be quiet. Don't, because
Yeah.
at the same time too, know that your movement is probably going to be in conflict with my movement.
Which is why when I'm talking to cats that want to be allies, I say, listen, a true ally, since you don't know what the hell's going on over here, and we ain't got time to discuss it, you know what I'm saying? We ain't going through the volumes, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I can give you some books from Dr. Anderson. I can give you some books from like Michael Eric Dyson, Michelle Alexander. You can read in your own leisure, but I'm not doing this shit with you. There's books out there. I said, if you want to be an ally, you have to be willing to be used as a tool. And we can wield you as we see fit. Now, I will say I have met some folks that came to the task. They showed up. I ain't gonna lie. Some of them have. Very few, but some have showed up. So I give them props for even doing that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ian Burkhart. He showed up. I was like, hey, I need you for this. What time? Like, damn. Okay. Like that there. So there's a couple out there. And just to let y'all, the white folks that watch this thing, I have a high bar for allyship. Like to get that title for me, it's a very high bar. Mind you, I'm saying high bar because it's gonna be in conflict with what you instinctually want to do. That's why it's a high bar, because it's hard to go against your own instincts. That's just human nature. It's not a high bar socially. What I'm asking you to do is very easy for you to do. But instinctually, it's gonna be like cutting off a limb. You just don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sorry about that. Had to give a little public service announcement.
It's all gonna be in the thing. But yeah, so going back to these cops, you know, I'm almost positive that the brotherhood that they feel is probably a brotherhood they might not have felt before. And they're all like, we're all blue, no matter who or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, I'm a part of this brotherhood, you know, I want to protect my brothers and all that stuff. So they feel, so what happens is that, which I hope that Black people get the freedom to be able to say, I'm going to do whatever I want. But in this circumstance, I think it's like a misguided, I can do whatever I want. You know what I mean?
I think so. Unless you can deal with the smoke of your decisions. If you can deal with the smoke, hey, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, you see motherfuckers ducking and running for cover, like, because they're cowards.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, y'all gotta at least get a tape. Like, come on, you gotta have a backup plan. People would buy that shit.
In 2 seconds, yes.
People are like, oh shit, this the cop. These the cops that was fucking that white bitch. Oh, bet.
And don't get it twisted. 90% of that money going to that white woman.
I mean, she's probably already made the deal already.
They'll be black again right after.
So
they'll be black again right after.
So let me show. See, I think. Look at these guys.
So wait a minute. Okay, I never seen these cats. So already, I'm already, I wouldn't hang with these cats. Take away the uniforms and just put them in regular clothes. These cats look a little strange, man. They look a little.
This photo smells like spades and Black and Miles.
Damn. So if it was a scratch and sniff, Yeah, this is yeah, it's a little. But then again, when you think about any group, when you think about any group that has authority, there's going to be a level of indoctrination that happens, and then once that indoctrination starts, and if you fall into it, that's when the weird behavior kind of
What?
kind of goes down.
Why ain't none of them smiling? Especially this dude in the middle. This dude right here in the top middle. What the fuck? Is this a Captain America poster? Like, what is
They're
this?
they're warriors, man. They're warriors, Keenan. You know what I'm saying? And you know
And
they
she's
got the only emotion they probably have only exhibited in their life is anger. You know what I'm saying? So you know that except the dude on the right, the top right,
yeah,
he looks
this
like
guy.
he really wants to smile, but he says my people gonna whoop my ass. So he's holding it back. You know what I'm saying? I think he really wants to give you a smile. He looks a little innocent in that picture right there, like he has some he has some goodness in his heart.
And this woman, this is privilege right here.
Oh, 100%. That smile is bona fide.
She's like, I'm happy to be here.
That smile is bona fide, okay? She knows she is good to go.
Jesus Christ. And her eyes don't even look straight. Let me stop.
Well, you know what she's doing, right? She's looking at the horizon of possibilities because that's what whiteness gets you in America.
Jesus Christ.
That's
See,
what's happening right there.
so so the situation is this. This woman, she's married. Well, yeah, she's married. She's still married.
Yeah, and remember the dude liked to watch. You said the name of what he is, his title.
He's a cuck. He's a cuckold. He's a cuck.
There we go. Where did
Because
that come from? Where
he has
did
so
that
much
name come from?
privilege. Let's look it up. Let's look up on Wikipedia.
That is because it's a strange name. Because in the hood, he would be called a simp, right, or a lame.
Yeah.
So
all right.
So why the change in names? Why didn't they steal everything else from our culture? They could have just stole lame instead of whatever the cuckold, right? That's how you say
Cuckold.
it. Okay.
So Wikipedia says,
He clear my throat.
a cuckold is the husband of an adulterous wife. The wife of an adulterous husband is a cuck queen.
But the man's not a cuck king. You can't get that title, huh? Not doing that type of shit. Yep. You can't get the title of king.
He's a cuckold. The wife is a cuckwin. Quean. So a cuckwin.
Weird shit.
In biology, a cuckold is a male who unwittingly invests parental effort in juveniles who are not genetically his offspring. Oh, so it's a stepdad. A cuckold is a stepdad. In biology, a cuckold is a male who unwittingly invests parental effort in juveniles that are not genetically his offspring.
So then how did they mix it up with this shit then?
A husband who is aware of and tolerates his wife's infidelity is sometimes called a whittle or a wittold.
All this is making me feel weird. All this is weird. This is like we dredging through the mud right now. It's not good. I gotta take a shower.
All right, hold on. The word cuckold derives from the cuckoo bird, alluding to its habit of laying its eggs in other birds' nests.
So why did they just call them cuckoos?
Because that's crazy, right?
He is.
The association is common in medieval folklore, literature, and iconography.
Weird, man. I don't know.
It
sounds too complicated to me.
So it's from medieval times. The abbreviation of cuckold, the term cuck, has been used by the alt-right to attack the masculinity of an opponent.
So strange. All this is just bad. It just sounds all unhealthy.
And it says, okay, unlike the traditional, so cuckoldry. that sounds
cuckoldry.
That sounds like what you say when you're drinking tea. So cuckoldry.
With the pinky out.
With the pinky out.
With the pinky. Yeah.
Speaking of cuckoldry, that's like how you set up your dinner table for your wife and her lover.
I wonder if dudes set the room up for his wife and the cat.
When they set the room up, they're like, "I'm setting up the cocoa tree in the bedroom,
Yeah,
sweetie."
he might have sent out a group text saying he was setting everything up. You know what I'm saying? Hey
Yeah,
y'all, 15 minutes, we go live. You know what I'm saying?
cuckoldry as a fetish. Unlike the traditional definition of the term in fetish usage, of cuckold, um, also known as cuckolding fetish, is complicit in their partner's sexual infidelity. The wife who enjoys cuckolding her husband is called a cuckoldress
A
if the
cuck
man is
dress.
more a cuckoldress, a cuckoldress if the man is more submissive. The dominant man engaging with the cuckold's partner is called a bull. Black dude.
This is nope. I
Well,
need therapy. I'm gonna get a therapy session after this. I'm gonna go find me a because
well,
this is wild.
well, that,
This
well,
is
that,
all
well, that, well, that was scary.
it's a yeah,
Um,
this is a lot.
so yeah, so apparently, okay, so the NBC News says 5 officers fired a sex scandal, Royal Tennessee Police Department. An investigation found the officers participated in girls gone wild type parties, heavy drinking, and having sex while on duty. But that's my thing. Why does it have to be on duty?
I think you know what? Here's what I'll say. I'll say this. I think black folks always want the power that comes from being in proximity to whiteness, right? They felt like they got a little bit of it and they lost their fucking minds.
That's what I think. And I think it was
That's how I look at it.
I think I got into they got into fetish set because I have black friends. I have black friends that also I have black friends that kind of I'm just gonna say it straight out. I got black friends that hang out around a lot of white people. And they're also into they're also into like fetish, like gangbang shit, right? Like they're kind of,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying?
All right.
So normally, like when you're hanging out with your boys, when there's people that really like hang with black people like that, you don't really, no one's openly talking about like gang bang. I mean, it happens because there's some sisters that like to get turned out, but
Yeah. I'm sure there's
so
some brothers out there that probably like get turned out too.
yeah, but no one is talking about it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So
I ain't gonna
it's
lie, I wouldn't have nothing to add to the conversation anyway. Cause I'm like,
yeah,
all this shit sounds wild.
yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm good. Um, so girl goes out. So it's all on duty. It's all on duty, right? So moving on from that, because there, of course, you're going to get fired. You're going to get fired, right?
Yeah.
So then
Hell
moving
yeah.
on to that, the Tyree Nichols thing, I thought was interesting because at first, before the tape came out, everybody was like, "This is a result of racism. This is the result of white supremacy.
Right.
Um, it's another system of the police, which I do agree with. I do agree that's a white supremacist society.
Right.
Um, but all the officers were black, right? And when you watch it, when you see okay, all the officers are black, you're kind of like, all right,
That didn't
see
even
here,
it didn't even occur to me when I saw the I didn't watch the whole video, but when I saw the story and then I saw the video at the when they had the video frozen and you hit play or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It didn't even, I was like, they're cops.
yeah, it's
Not
one of those
they're not
things.
yeah, they ain't black men, they're cops.
It's one of the things where you're sitting there, you're like, yeah, this could still be white supremacy.
It is. Well, I always say
It's
white supremacy is a thought process, right? It's a mindset. It's not it only benefits white folks, but anybody can adopt the ideology of white supremacy. And matter of
yeah.
fact, if you grew up here in America and you went to school here, you're more than likely an agent of white supremacy.
In this moment, these 5 cops were OJ. Know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So
Wow.
So what ended up happening?
So this is like Dylon, and Dylon, but it's OJ, and OJ.
OJ, exactly, right?
Okay, got you.
So
Right.
at
The next
first,
making the band.
everybody came out strong. Everyone was like, "Yo, we're going to the streets, we're protesting this," as they should, right? Then some shit started coming out that are alleged rumors, right?
Yeah, I
This
saw that.
this cop right here on the left. There's a rumor that Tyree was hooking up with his ex-wife or girlfriend. They worked at the
Right.
same FedEx together, right? And as soon as that rumor started circulating, everybody backed off. Like everybody. Like it felt like everyone turned it into, oh shit, they ain't none of my business.
Which
Right?
this is interesting that you're saying, because I never so I try not to follow these things too close, because it is too much shit you put in your spirit, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it can definitely you start to internalize it too much, and then your whole aura becomes imbalanced and shit. And you gotta, then you gotta go watch some comedy or something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know people back. I heard that rumor. I didn't know that a lot of people like backed off, but I
Well,
had the sense that once again, right, when a black man is killed by police or whoever, doesn't matter, when we're killed by violence, you want to bring up these things that you try to dehumanize the victim, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And I'm figuring that's what it was. But I will say this, if the shit was true, this dude that you was the cat up here on the screen, he's just a sucker. You know what I'm saying? If
Well,
the woman, if you actually didn't want you, she didn't want you.
well, and the thing about it is this too, is that as soon as the video came out of the news cycle, like almost immediately, the rumors start circulating. And then if you notice, the news didn't talk about it no more. The news didn't talk about it no more. We didn't hear about no protests. We didn't hear about no Black Lives Matter shit.
That's true.
And,
That's
and it's
true.
one of those things. It's like, dog, why are you doing it in the uniform though? That's what I'm saying. You're using what you're doing is, and if they find evidence of this is why I'm like, this is stupid. If they find evidence that is true, then that means these niggas are going to jail for the rest of their lives. Because then it's like, oh, this is premeditated state sanctioned murder.
Yeah, I mean, they might get served up, you know what I'm saying? But
You know
here's
what I'm
my
saying?
thing. Here's my thing. If they get served up, I'm looking at it like cops are going to prison, not black folks. That's how I look at it. They made their choice. They made their choice. You know what I'm saying?
And everybody else is going to see them as cops going to prison too once they get there.
Oh yeah, they gotta deal with it. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to,
So again, it's like, bruh, I don't think you thought this through. Like, even if the rumor is true and you're like, yo, this guy's banging out my woman and stuff, let's go get him in uniform. He dies, evidence comes out. You're going to what is it? Murder? Like you're going to prison for murder because it's premeditated.
And you ain't gonna be accepted by any black car.
Yeah,
you're not gonna be accepted by any of the organizations. I would think they're just gonna PC up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they're gonna PC up, and that's it.
And that's why I'm saying it's like when we black, you really gotta think, bro. And that's why I'm saying it's like emotions. You gotta check your emotions. You gotta move. You gotta move
100%.
smart. And I'm gonna say this because I know we gotta wrap up. I'm gonna say this is how I'm gonna wrap it up. When our fight became mainstream in 2020, I knew it was going to be a problem.
And here's what's crazy. When all this, so when I was still in New York, and I was living on Main Street at the time, and the George Floyd thing popped off. George Floyd got murdered. I saw caravans of white folks out there, like with Black Lives Matter signs and shit. I'm like, these kids actually look pissed. You know what I'm saying? Like these kids, right? So I said, they're gonna be going home saying this shit to their parents. oh yeah, it's about to go down. It's about to
Yes,
be real serious. You know what I'm saying? Because
it's
it's just like Dr. King, when Dr. King started the poor people's campaign and started talking to poor white folks in rural areas, and then talking to NC black folks, trying to get them together, assassinated immediately. You know what I mean?
and then what happened is emotionally, I think black people are just tired, and it
We've been
didn't come
tired.
out the way that people thought. I think it put division in the black community a little bit more, and this is the reason why. When George Floyd happened, it was an onslaught of humongous support. You're talking a billion people supporting the shit, right?
Yeah, around the world.
All around the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Breonna Taylor gets killed, not as many people. So what
Nah.
happened is some sisters start seeing, they're like, oh wow, y'all don't give a fuck about us. And that's when a movement, which has been going on, a divestment movement started. And we're not just talking about, and this isn't necessarily about people that just don't fuck with black people, but they're like, I'm not going to support as many people as much as I should because I feel like they don't support me, right? Then
Yeah.
what start then what started happening is then that's when all the news cycle started pushing shit. Oh well, George Floyd was actually a criminal and he was this and that. And then now you got some black people like, well, I'm not supporting just anybody anymore, right?
Yeah.
Then on top of that, you have Patrice Cullors, the head of Black Lives Matter, taking money out of the pot and buying herself some mansions. And now you have a bunch of white people that, oh well, fuck all of this shit, right? So that's why I said when it went mainstream, I'm like, this is about to be a problem.
Yeah, I think it was more. Yeah, I think it was, and I think it went, quote unquote. I say white stream. It went like it became attractive to young white folks. I think that's really where the
Mm.
problem was, because now you got these parents and grandparents that are like, wait a minute, we don't like those people. Why the hell y'all like them? What the hell's going on here? You know what I'm
And,
saying?
and, and you can't get away with assassinating people physically in the street in America anymore, but you can get away with assassinating the character. And
Absolutely.
let me tell you something. It's worked because Tyree Nichols. A lot of people don't support Nichols. You know why? Because he's a Sacramento skateboarder kid that likes white girls.
Yeah, I can.
So
Yeah,
so
I saw that they brought up the fact that he was skateboarding, and Tony Hawk, I guess, is building a skate
yeah.
park.
So
Yeah,
so after this man's death, they pulled his tweets. Black people pulled his tweets. Said, "Oh, hey, he don't like black women, so fuck him." Right? Same thing.
yeah,
Same
which is
thing.
it's odd too. All that shit is odd to me. I'm like, man, I'm trying, and the thing is, I'm looking at. I tell people all the time, I'm looking to gain power. I'm looking to gain power for my community. Now, how we use the power, that ain't nobody else's business. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know what you doing. So fuck all that. But I'm just trying to gain power from. And I tell people all the time, I'm not looking for kumbaya. I'm not looking for us to be a monolith. I'm not looking to build bridges over chasms that I didn't make. I'm looking for power for my people, and that's it. And if I can put power in the hands of my people, you ain't got to be just like me. I ain't tripping off that.
And that's why we gotta move forward because as far as like it becoming a part of the mainstream lexicon, I
No, yeah,
think
it
we've
won't.
lost it
It won't.
because even Patrice Cullen's cousin was killed in by cops in L.A.
I mean,
Um,
what's like the average? The average isn't it like almost one a day, right? When it
yeah,
comes to black folks
but
being killed by police.
at that point, people are like, "Oh, this is her cousin. Oh, we don't give a fuck." Like it's people are tired of people lacking integrity,
I can
and
see that, but you know what?
you know,
I've had conversations like this with, like, some of my folks, and they're like, they'll say some shit like, man, it'll be your own, blah blah blah, and I'm like, bruh, no black folks built an entire highway system through your neighborhood,
exactly.
right? No black organization came into a black neighborhood, torched it, killed everybody, and then asked the government to come in and send in planes as well. Listen, if you're gonna really be pissed, let's be pissed at the real shit.
And
I said maybe a brother, you might be you might be neat and complete from head to feet, somewhere at the club, and somebody might line you up and take your shit. That's small compared to what white America's done to us. So stop that shit. That's ridiculous.
There's 42 million black people in the United States of America. A lot of us aren't going to get along, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't look out for each other. So everybody isn't perfect. Nobody's perfect. I think
I'm damn sure ain't.
I think what's happening to us is what they want.
Absolutely.
And that's why the stories were leaked. Remember when Martin Luther King was going around, and people are talking about this now, which is goofy. First thing, FBI said, well, he's fucking white women. FBI said he's cheating on his wife. You think that's not on purpose? Now you got some black people now in 2023. They're like, we should support Martin Luther King because he cheated on his wife. Excuse you?
100%. That's real. That's real talk. We'll find the real ones though. We'll find the rest of the real ones out there. And the lames can, the lames can go do their thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We'll come back for you when we build our own shit. We'll come back and we'll embrace y'all. Yeah.
Well, Dre, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Kultur'd. Do you want to tell people where they can find you if you want on social media or anything, or should they look out for anything?
So I'm moving silent, so don't look out for nothing right now. If I got something to say, I'm gonna come back and talk to my boy Keenan, and then that's when y'all gonna find out. I don't do too much of the rah-rah, because when you do a lot of the rah-rah, people can get a beat on you and take your ass out. We don't do that. I'm not trying to deal with like what Nate Parker dealt with when he brought out Birth of a Nation. And I feel for my brother. You can reach me at dre3d.com, which is my website. That's the best way to get at me. Get on there, shoot me an email or whatever, and we can start politicking. Just don't come over here thinking it's gonna be some half-ass shit. I'm 100 or 0, and that's it. White allies, if I can use you and utilize you, cool. If not, I'm not worried about your white tears. They do nothing for me or my community.
And that's why I'm rocking with Dre. Of course, y'all can follow me on Instagram at Keenan J. Floyd. You know what it is. Subscribe and like the podcast.
Yes, and when you get a chance to go to a stand-up, get over there.
Come see me at show. 100%. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Have a good one, Dre. Everybody, be good.
For sure. I don't know if you have heard